Greetings, greetings, greetings. Welcome, Soras, Philos, friends, Rowers, Rosebuds, Sigma Gents, anybody, everybody who is watching us out there in YouTube land. Hey, how y'all doing today? Welcome back to Captivating Conversations. I am your host, Sora Lauren T. Bates, life member number 1704. Fours are the best number, just in case y'all forgot. I am currently a member of Zeta Zeta Sigma, which is in Ann Arbor, Michigan, anti-bacillus. Shout out to them. Area coordinator for the great state of Michigan. Hey, y'all. And the host of this show. Duh, here we are. Today, I have with us Sora Joy Blake, and we are going to get into some social media things here in just a moment. You may recognize her if you were at the Centennial celebration last summer because she was running around with her camera, taking the photos and the videos and getting our social media together because she was on a social media team. She was in the choir and she was doing a whole bunch of other stuff like everybody else was who volunteered their time. We was busy. She became a member in April of 2002, which means that she is almost a Ruby from the Theta Zeta chapter at Marquette University, which is in Wisconsin, in case y'all forgot. She's currently a member of the Eta Xi Sigma chapter in Oakland, Illinois, along with some of the other members of the Central Region Board of Directors. If you don't know, what have you been doing? She is a wife. She is a mom. She is a designer for mathematics curriculum for the Chicago Public Schools, which means that she's what? Smart. Okay, because Sigma women, we are educated. Duh. She's a certified Google trainer, and she has a consulting business through Blake Basics, where she teaches people how to use technology in their everyday lives. You can find her under Blake Basics. And she also has a podcast with her husband called Ain't Gonna Hurt Nobody on Spotify, YouTube, and Apple Podcasts. Let's give Sora Joy Blake a round of applause.
Hey, what's up? What's up, everybody? I'm so happy to be here.
Thank you for coming to the show. I'm happy to have you here. So listen, let me tell y'all about Sora's, I want to say from 2000, maybe like 99 to about maybe 2005, 2006, okay? Some of us, are really just about this Sigma journey. And like, I'm going to volunteer every waking second that I have to make the organization a better place for everybody.
It's a business.
Centennial was just a blur for me. I mean, I do remember some of the things, but because I was working, a lot of it was just like, I did that too. Oh, okay. Yeah, I was there. I remember.
How much sleep did you get? How much sleep did you get? That's the
I don't know, because one day I literally had my roommate. It was three of us in my room. One was in the bathroom. I had the other one in my dress. I laid down on my bed and woke up the next morning. So I
sound about right. That sound about right.
So it was a lot of, I gotta
go. What time is it? Oh.
I was supposed to be there 10 minutes ago. I got to go. Okay. She was taking pictures in choir rehearsal. She was taking pictures of the rehearsal. It was a lot, but it was a good time. How much sleep did you get? I'm sure not a lot.
I think my average was about 3.7 hours, 3 to 4.
Right.
But since I didn't have kids, I felt like I got 8 hours of sleep. I was refreshed. I was like, ain't no kids, ain't no husband. I'm out with my sorors. I feel renewed.
I'm ready. Let's go.
Ready.
So that's where I'm coming from, because everybody is like turning into rubies now. I'm coming up on Ruby in 2 years. She about to be a Ruby next year. Listen, it's just a whole nother. It's something about that era. It's just phenomenal. Shout out to everybody else. Nothing against y'all, so don't come for me in my DMs later, okay? Because I don't want to hear it. All right. So today we are talking about social media. I told y'all we was having a conversation about social media, how it can work for you, benefit you, how you can monetize it, all those good type of things. And we talked about social media on the show before, how about it's not going anywhere and you can use it. Some people do use it as their source of income. So we're jumping right in. Now, Sora Blake, how easy is it to create content for social media that will get attention?
Oh, that will get attention. That's the key
Yes.
part of it. Now, before I answer this question, I just really want to give a shout out to the Centennial social media team
Yeah.
and for Christina Canoe, because without her, I wouldn't even be doing what I'm doing. She opened up so many doors for me. And with that committee, I was able to see something I didn't even know that was within me. So I really do have to give credit where credit's due, and it goes to her. But
Boom.
getting back to the question, how easy is it to create content? Well, just let's keep this in perspective. I think I'm a teacher. I've been a teacher for over 15 years. And the number one thing kids say is, I want to be, I say, what do you want to be? They say, I want to be a football player, basketball player, or a rapper. And now the new thing is they say, I want to be an influencer.
Mm-hmm.
It's very challenging to create content. First, let's just stop there. It's challenging to create the content. And then there's another obstacle or hurdle to create content that gets attention. Because 9.8% of people in the population are influencers. I think that people think way more people are influencers, but it's only about 9.8% who are influencers and making money. So you have to first start off finding your niche, like what is the content about, and stick with that, because once you stick with that, it's going to be easier for you to create that content. And then from there, getting attention really comes from that consistency and discipline. It's really a job. It really is a job. You got to post consistently. That's the only way that like the algorithm will like catch your content and like have it'll show up on people's feed. If you don't post, like if you just like, I'm gonna post for 90 days straight, your followers and stuff would go up because they're looking at how consistently you post. Because you can have exceptional content, like really good content, but if you post like every 3 months, it's it's really not gonna get attention. So
Right.
that's the hard part. And then there's also a science behind the hashtags. There's a science behind the time that you post. What time, what day that you post also can garner more attention than other days. Like most people are posting like on Friday, Saturday nights. So if that's the only time you're posting, your stuff might not get seen because just simply because of the day and time. So there's a lot of factors, but if it's any advice that I would give, number one is either start small, find a niche, and point and post consistently. Like, and I'm not saying every day, like even if you just do every Tuesday and Thursday, just stick with that and like actually do it. There's a lot of great websites you can use, like Adobe Express, and I think Canva, but I know Adobe Express has a post scheduler, so you can schedule your posts in advance so that it seems like you're more active than you are. Because really, all social media is about is like seeming like you're active and always on there, and then that's when you garner attention, and then that's when sponsors can trust you because they got to be able to trust that you're like gonna do the work. So you have to have that evidence. Like, look at the if you got an influencer that's your favorite influencer, don't look at how many followers they got. Look at how many posts they got. And when
Yeah.
you look at that, that's when you're gonna be like, well, I only got 27. Well, yeah, they got like 2,700. Like, you gotta post a lot.
Yeah. I say so for some of the things or some of the like influencers that I follow, like Terrell, from the Terrell show on the Blue Wall, because I'm like
Uh,
a music person and he does the song association thing, which is so awesome. He's had some pretty amazing people on there. Sora Kelly Price was on there and she like sang her face off. And it was just like, oh, okay, yeah. That's his thing. But I mean, I understand what you're saying in the consistency, because if you look at like not Carlton Banks or Consciously or um some of these other people that out here, Tabitha Brown is one, You know, she just would be posting. And it all started from something simple, but then it grew because they're consistent with it. I know a lot of her earlier posts were really about her cooking vegan meals because that was her thing, because she's a vegan. She talked about being an actress in her videos while she was cooking the meals, but the content was about vegan meals. So it's just like, okay, you know, that's her thing. Now Carlton Banks got these characters. If y'all don't know who he is, okay, listen. Bun is my favorite character of all his characters. Okay, Bun and Lily. Lily is bad and Bun don't care. So if y'all don't know who he is, go follow him on Instagram, Facebook, because you know his church, the social media Church of God in Christ, or whatever he calls it, it is hilarious. Okay, it's really funny. But he consistently is posting these stories all of the time. He posts these videos all the time. His content is funny, but I've seen, like, because I've been following him for a while, how it has grown and then elevated over the years from, you know, consistently doing it. So consistency is key. And she just dropped a jewel, you know, of where you can go to post your stuff in advance. Hello. I told you, I'm bringing up people that can help you do whatever it is you're trying to do, because
Express is free here.
It's free. Okay. Free. That she said it. I never heard of Adobe Express because social media content is not my thing. I just take pictures sometimes and post them.
Yeah, it's a lot of work. Like people like Carlton Banks, like it probably be taking him days to do those videos. Like, not easy. Like it takes like a lot of time to get a really good video, and then you finally post it. And some people might be exhausted and not post for a really long time, but he's doing that back to back to back to back. Like it's time consuming. It really is. You got to edit it. You got to put in a template. You got to put in the music. Like it's a lot.
Right. Captions, all of that stuff. You know, you got to go through and change, because when he does the one where it be like the whole choir, he do like 7 characters in like in less than a minute. So you got to go through and change and do with the, you know, because now he do man, and man don't ever say nothing. So you got to put the filters on. He do all of this stuff, but they are so creative and they're very funny. Shout out to Carlton Banks. I love your work. I'm just saying, he's awesome. But it's a ton of people out there that are not as consistent. So then when you see something show up from them, you be like, oh, okay, yeah. I ain't seen nothing from you in a while, but you know, consistency is key. So we're gonna move on to the next thing, because y'all know. What's the what's the best platform to use to monetize your content? I heard it was TikTok is the best one.
Well, statistically speaking, and all I did, now this is coming from Google, so I ain't trying to be no expert like that, but Google said it is the top for 2023 for the money coming out. But then it's like Instagram is 1, and then TikTok is 2. And to me, like, to be perfectly honest, it's really about which one that is easiest for you to use. Because if you are struggling with Instagram and TikTok is easier for you, the odds of you posting consistently will increase, and the odds of you getting sponsors and making money will increase. Like most people make money from like selling merch on there, getting the sponsorships and all that. But it's really about like which one are you most comfortable with. Like you brought up Tabitha Brown, who I love, Heart Tabitha Brown. And like she started on Facebook. Like she started on Facebook, got over 3,000 followers, and then her daughter told her to go to TikTok, and then she went to TikTok, and then she started to like blow up. So it's really just about just start. You know what I mean? Like if you don't start, you can't make money. Like you gotta start, you'll get better. And then if you're finding it's okay to switch, because once you have those like sincere followers, they will follow you. Like I know it sounds cliche, but they stick with you. So if you're like, hey, I'm going to this platform or whatever, like they'll stick with you, and then you'll get more. So it's just finding which one works best for you. There's some of them that will let you post on. I like TikTok because you can do your posts on your computer as well. Like that's
Okay.
one difference between TikTok and Instagram. Like Instagram is pretty much on your phone. So I always recommend to people to like type their posts out either on a Google Doc or a Google Keep Note, and then you can just like copy and paste
Mhm.
on your phone because our thumbs they do hurt from posting. But TikTok is one where you can like have the video on your computer and then post and put the content while being on your computer, and then also you can do it on your phone. So that's one perk. So you just got to find like what works for you, and whatever works for you, trust me, you're going to it's gonna make money because it works for you. Like it's really about you.
Yeah.
And I would also say, only thing I'll say is like a lot of people do posts for likes and getting hearts and all that, but you're gonna lose steam by that if you're only like so focused on how many likes did I get, how many people viewed my reel, how many people commented. Like you're going to lose steam because now it's not becoming about you, it's becoming about others. And like if you're just doing something, like I feel like Tabitha Brown was doing it because she liked to cook, and
Right.
then she was like, I can make these videos. It's fun for me. And she made money off of it. It wasn't necessarily about I'm going to do this so that I can be an influencer and people will
Right.
like you're gonna lose steam like you just are because it's a lot of work. It really is. So you gotta like it. You gotta want to do it for you.
Hmm. I think that's something that people miss too. It's just like, the whole thing with Tabitha Brown. I've been following her for a couple years, and she said quite a few times, that she really just started, like, it started with, I think she said she did a review of some new vegan something, and she was sitting in her car while she was taking a break because she was an Uber driver. So let me
Yeah.
be clear. She was a Uber driver
Out to
while
the
she
Uber
was
driver.
chasing her dream.
I was an Uber driver too, so shout out to the Uber
So
driver.
it's just like, it doesn't matter where you start, it's where you're trying to go. Like, I follow Bailey Sarian on YouTube because I like murder mystery and makeup. Like,
That's
she
so good.
I'm not a makeup girl, but I love murder mystery stories. And she just happened to come on my timeline one time, and I just thought like, oh, this is so fascinating. And by the time she got done, and her makeup was so pretty. But she used to be a sales girl at Sephora.
Yeah.
And she just said she decided to do a video one day about this because she loves like all things gory, and she talks about it all the time. But now she does this podcast. It's called Dark History, which is very interesting.
It is interesting. I love podcasts. Yeah, that one's good.
She talks about like the history of some things, and I just be like, I never knew that before. Shout out to Belly Sarian. I love you. It's just like, heart to Bailey Sarian, but I get when you said you'll follow, because she started doing these videos on YouTube, and then when she made the announcement that she was going to start doing this dark history thing, I was just like, well, where is it so I can listen to it? Because I
Yep.
had been watching her videos. So now you're going to do this podcast about things in history, which is I'm a fan of, that are not what you think they are.
Yep. Hey, what I got to lose? I got nothing to lose.
They're like 30 minutes episodes. 30, I can listen to that in my car when I'm going. Like, come on. So, it all ties together. But you have to be consistent and do the work. So, um, with that, because we have so many things, so many different formats of social media that have definitely evolved over the years, because we come from an era of using Black Planet when you were in college.
Smoke me seven. That was my login. Smoke me seven. I
Everybody
feel
had a Black Planet page where you had to do your own coding. Everybody was HTML expert back then
did.
because you,
I never,
you had to do your own background. You
we
wanted
sure
the
did.
rain to fall, you had to put your own programming in. Okay, it wasn't no clicking no buttons. You had to figure it out.
So true. I forgot that.
But do you think that there are too many social media platforms or not enough or just the right amount?
I mean, it's hard to tell. I think that people are addicted to their phones. I think that is true. There's not enough balance. And then it's just like a lot of people have FOMO, like they feel like they're missing out on something, or they feel like they have to be the top of the trend, or they have to keep up. And to me, the saddest part about social media is that people there are some good components. Like I wish there was social media when I was a teenager. I was awkward, I was nerdy, I in some way, I mean, just like to find
Some
people who,
parts, but not.
yes,
Yeah.
like that was like similar. Like I could be like, oh, there is somebody else who listens to
So you
like,
find your tribe to find
yeah,
your
find
tribe.
your tribe,
Yeah.
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 But then at the
Yeah.
same time, I probably have low self esteem. I don't know, but I'm just saying there's some good components, but the bad components, I feel like we're just like it's getting a little worse. Like people are desensitized. Like
Mm-hmm.
you just see like crime on your timeline, like just like that. It's just like people are becoming more and more desensitized, and I feel like people are like doing stuff for attention more
Yes.
than they should. And it's like in real life though, it's like it's one thing to do like a random video to get likes, but you're doing like random stuff like at your job, and like nobody's recording you right now. Like you're just like I don't know how to say it any
And that's
different.
when I think it goes too far and where people lose some brain cells. Like, did you forget how to think for yourself? Or are you just
Yeah,
doing this because this is what everybody else is doing? I think that's the downside of social media. Is that
yeah.
it's definitely there's a lack of human interaction that there once was that just did not exist before. Like if you an 80s baby, okay, we went outside and played
For long
all
periods of time,
day.
long periods of time.
Like, oh my God, the street light is about to come on. I got to get to the porch or I'm gonna be in trouble.
Like
Like,
you know, the bugs. We were outside till the bugs came out. Like, oh, the mosquitoes is out. I'm starting to get bit. I guess I'll go home now.
right. We drank
Like,
from water hoses because we couldn't come in and out the house.
you surely could not. You cannot.
So it's just like, kids nowadays, it's like
They can't.
4-year-olds have cell phones. For what? Why do you need a phone? You're 4.
Yeah, like my son, we went to a hotel for a trip, and you know how the hotels have the like pre-assigned channels, and then they
Yeah.
had commercials, and he was like, "What is this?" He was like, "I keep hitting the remote and it won't go by, it just stays." I was like, "This is a commercial. Like you can't like they have curated like experiences for them now. Like people have like curated experiences, and that's how they think life is." Like,
Yeah.
yeah, you can do that on your phone, but like not in real life.
No, not not in real life. You can skip after 5 seconds. You can't do that in reality. Okay. um. So regarding your podcast, is it easy to start a podcast? And if so, how do you get on the different platforms?
Okay, well, I would say in some ways it can be pretty easy because you could start a podcast like on Zoom. Like you can if you record like a Zoom, and there's an option where you can download the audio, and then you can
Okay.
just audio like an MP3 and then just podcast platforms. Like those, that's just like the most like basic way to do it. You can do that with Google. I think you do that with Google Meet. I'm not certain, but I know with Zoom you can. And then there's like other screen recording apps like Screencastify, where you can like record yourself doing a podcast, and then you can just download the audio and then put it on the platform. So some of the platforms are like Anchor, I believe, is free. Let me see, I wrote them all down so I would be prepared. I know Anchor, I know Adobe Audition is good. I use YouTube for my podcast. And I mean, yeah, they can see us, but I don't really care. Like people watch YouTube, people listen to YouTube, and we just got on like Spotify. We're on Spotify, Apple, Mute, Apple Podcasts, and there's websites too that like will take. You can have one podcast, but it'll like post your podcast on all the podcast apps for you, and it's like about like $40. I don't.
Oh, okay.
You can look them. You can look them up and like get yourself out there. I think primarily the difference between like a podcast and social media is a podcast is really like a production. It's really a show. Like it's really like you have to have your structure. Like one of my favorite podcasts is Jamel Hill Unbothered.
Oh, I love her show.
Yeah, and if you listen to it, like she has the exact same structure every single episode, and like follows that, and that's how the different like podcasts are really like just like TV shows or shows you can listen to. With me and my husband, we had a radio show in college before we was together. We was not dating, we was friends. But we were best friends. But then we was like, once we had kids and we just needed like a creative outlet, we were like, we should start a podcast. Now we go into a studio, we pay, and studios it could be 100 an episode, 150 an episode. If it's more than 150, I would say don't do that. That's expensive. Or you can just 150 is kind of expensive, to be honest. So if you feel like you can do it, if you feel like you can do it at your house and just get the microphone, get yourself set up, that's fine. We have 2 kids and we're busy, so we're just like, we just want to get started, get it off the ground, and start doing it. So it just depends on you, but it's really important to know your audience. I think the most with a podcast, because with a podcast, you can't really be all over the place. Like you kind of gotta like stick to the things, stick to the script, as they say. Like if you're a relationship podcast, like you shouldn't be like talking about sports too much, or that should be like a special episode. You just want to stick to like almost your genre. It's kind of like genres with podcasts.
Yeah.
So I'm not certain if I answered that, but I hope so.
You did. No, you did. You did. That answered the question, plus, some other things.
All right, good. Okay.
So in regards to being a content creator, what is the best part, or what is your favorite part of being a content creator?
I think for me, I'm an Aquarius. I'm not gonna. I know people, but I am an Aquarius, and I love like to create like and get my ideas out, and like I'm a very like artistic like person. Like I have to have the art. I have, So I used to be like when I was in school, I was in art school because like Lauren said, I'm an 80s baby, and believe it or not, we didn't have internet, so we had.
We had dial-up in the 90s, okay? Yeah. AOL. You've got mail. It was a real thing. Like, come on now.
We was in the library at the card catalog. Like,
hello, card catalog. They don't know about no card catalog. Like, it's only one copy of this book, but I need this book.
Like, we didn't have that. So I used to do art, like a lot of art and paint and all that. But I found myself finding social media to fill like that creative void. Like I don't have as much time to paint, so I'll make videos, and it's like a creative outlet and fun for me to do. Like I have so many videos on my phone, I've never even posted them. I just like to do the templates, like to do the random voices you can do. Like it can be entertaining. It can really be a stress reliever. It can start off as a stress reliever, and then before you know it, you could be doing it all the time. Like again, as a shout out to the Centennial social media team, because I didn't think it was something I could just do, but it was something I was already doing. It's like a creative outlet, and it could turn into something more if you so choose. But yeah, it should always be something for you. That I'll always say that. About that, it should be for you, because it'll lose its luster. And always remember, like, we are fearfully and wonderfully made, and there's always like something new in every single person. So you don't have to limit yourself, and you don't have to compare yourself to anybody else. Just create, and then keep doing it. If it makes you happy, it's fine. If it turns into something, you win. If it doesn't turn into something, if you have the right motives, you still gonna win. You win no matter what.
Basically, that's how I feel about my writing. Because I've been writing since I was 8, and I have written a book before, but
Oh,
it's just like
cool.
I write because that is what helps me to clear my mind, to use my creativity, to get my thoughts out, to, say what I want to say to people or whatever the case may be. So if you have to have your lane. So we're coming up on our last 2 questions. So these are sorority related questions
Okay.
that I ask everybody. Don't worry, I got it. I got it. So why was it Sigma for you?
Oh, I love this question so very much because you can always remember your why when somebody getting on your nerves. Just go back to your why and keep pushing. But anyways, why it was Sigma for me? 100%. One, I fit the profile, so I went to school to be a teacher. I'm from the Midwest. I went to a PWI public, a public white institution. Marquette was like, I don't know how many black people was there, and then like ironically, all my schools were like blue and gold. It was so intriguing. Like my high school colors were blue and gold. Shout out to King. Marquette was blue and gold, and then every school I taught at, and I taught at a good amount for 15 years, was blue and gold. And then like I am a first generation college student, so I didn't really know about sororities like that. Like nobody in my family is Greek, and I'm talking about like my entire like family, not just extended family, immediate family. Like I'm the first person to be Greek. And so I kind of came with a clean slate, and I noticed that the SG rows were genuine, they were authentic. I knew I didn't have to fit into like some type of box. I could just be myself, and I would be accepted to like as who I am. I really respect originality, and I noticed that we were just like original, unique. Like you just couldn't put us into a mold, and that's to me a good thing. And I saw them at a 70s step show. They did a step show, and the theme was 70s. I was like, man, y'all killing this. It's super good. They had the picks, they had the afros and the picks, and they started click clacking with the picks. I was like, I'm gonna be an SG. I was like, I'm done. That's it. It's final. I'm an SG.
It's a wrap. Sign me up.
Yeah, and then that's the story. That's pretty much
I'm
it.
here for it. I love it. That's a good story. I like that one. I like that one. That's a good one.
And I forgot to
So,
say too, my basketball coach in high school was an SG row, and my upper bound counselor too.
oh
So it was just
wow. See,
a lot of
we
people. Just
everywhere.
just
Ev-
fate, yeah.
Everywhere. Everywhere. I'm here for all of that. So, this is my favorite question. If you could have a conversation with any of the founders, which one would you pick and what would you ask her?
Well, since my name is so short, I had to pick a founder with a long name to balance everything out. So I selected Hattie Mae Annette Doolin Redford, and believe it or not, my guess what my middle name is? Annette. So I was like, me and you, we are one. Like, no, I was like, her middle name is Annette. Like, you barely find. I always thought that. So she was like always my favorite. But the reason in the question, she was super ambitious to me, active in her community. She's won a lot of awards, and she's like a behind the. To me, I always saw her as like a behind the scenes person, and
Yeah.
that's what I am. I'm not trying to be like. I don't know. I'm not trying to be elected. That's what I should say with the Sigma Gamma Rho. But I'm gonna be like behind the scenes. Like I will
Just like,
be.
how can I help you? I
Yes,
can help.
yes.
Put me to work.
Yes, I put me to work. I'm willing to work. So I found that I see that in her a lot. So she was a grand epistolian, so that kind of goes with the social media as well. So I would definitely select her. And then my question would be, how did you balance your life? How did you prevent yourself from doing too much and still like enjoying life? So that would probably be the question that
Mm.
like, how did you have balance because she was involved in church, SG Row. She was a teacher. She was a wife, and it's hard to balance that. So I would just be
Yeah.
curious. And you're founding like a sorority for the first time, like ever. That's like a big task in and of itself.
Right. Because
It's
it
like
took
how
some work. I mean, that still work. They still, that took some work, especially where they did it. So,
yeah, it's a lot. So yeah, that would be my question.
all right. So I'm here for that. I don't have a lot of people that pick Hattie Mae, and I don't know why. I don't know. I get a lot, of course, Founder Little, of course,
Yeah,
I understand that. And Cubina. I get those two the most, which I
yeah,
understand because Mary Lou was a primary founder, and Cubina, we lost
yeah. She was so young, so
the
young.
youngest. She was young, so I get it. She didn't have a very long life, but I did meet her great niece recently.
Wow, that's
Yes,
cool.
yes, and I got the story behind that. Her brother, so Founder McClure's brother, is a member of Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated. And when she passed away, he was really young. So he didn't really know her like that because
Okay.
he was so young and she was, young when she passed away or whatever. But I did meet her great niece recently, a couple weeks ago, and she actually lives in Detroit now. And it was like such an honor to meet her. And I was
That's so
just like,
good.
oh my gosh, this is amazing. But they didn't have like that knowledge of her growing up because of the age difference between their dad and her, which what she told me when I met her. So I just thought that was pretty dope. And I was just
That's
like, oh, okay, interesting. So yeah, I'm always here for learning the history of Sigma Gamma Rho. So on the next episode of Captivating Conversations is probably not going to be until closer to Mother's Day, and I have a legacy episode where
cool.
I have a full Sigma family, well, mostly Sigma family, not full. I have sorors and I think a rower, but it's like 5 or 6 of them.
Oh,
So
amazing.
I'm very much looking forward to that episode. We have not recorded it yet, but it has been scheduled. So I did get a confirmation on my music episode. So we will have a special guest coming up in June. I'm very
Uh-oh.
excited.
Hype them up, hype them up.
I can't tell you who it is, but it's gonna be good.
Oh, can't wait.
So excited. We're going to be talking about music and Black music and the history of Black music and all that good fun stuff. And then I have a couple more, and we're going to wrap up this season probably sometime in June, So here we are. So keep watching, keep liking, sharing, telling other people. I believe I'll be back for season 3. Haven't spoken with the Syntactics as of yet, but I think we're gonna do a season
I
3.
think you'll return. You got the flow, you got the momentum. You just gotta keep
Yeah,
riding.
so I just gotta keep going. I'm gonna have to
Yeah,
think of all new topics for next season, and that's
yeah.
okay because there's so many things to cover because there's
It's
so many
always
avenues.
something. Yeah.
Yeah. So again, Sir Joy Blake, thank you for coming on the show. I'm pretty
Well,
sure
thank
that I
you.
will see you sometime soon, maybe at regionals next year. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Walking by quickly because I have somewhere to go. There's somewhere I'm supposed to be.
Same, because that always seems to be the case.
But I really appreciate this. I had a wonderful time and keep up the good work. You're doing a
Thank
great
you.
job. You're doing
Thank
great
you.
work.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Until next time, thank you for tuning in to this episode of Captivating Conversations. I hope you learned something about social media that will benefit you in the future if that is what you are looking to pursue. Young, old, it doesn't matter. Just do your thing and be happy. That's it. So until next time, I will see you. Bye.